and one of my absolute favorite organizations. Jake Morabito is on the line. Welcome to the program, Jake.
Thanks for having me on, April.
Always great to talk to you guys. We're going to talk a little bit today about AI. At the end of the segment, though, I want you to tell our listeners a little bit more about y'all's organization. We, as technology advances, so do the efforts of those pesky lawmakers to get their hand in the pot. Most recently, the state of California saw a bill or a series of bills related to artificial intelligence and technology. Can you tell us what happened in California and how ALEC was able to weigh in there?
Sure. So one thing I just want to start the conversation with is, it's been about 2 years since ChatGPT first came on the scene and kind of introduced the world and to the current form of generative artificial intelligence. And, many people have been fascinated and even a little bit horrified as how advanced this technology has gotten. And so now, about 2 years in, some of the initial hype from that launch of ChatGPT has kind of weighed down. An apocalypse has not happened. Skynet is not here. But to your point, April, several states, including your usual suspects, your Californias, your New Yorks, Illinois, are eagerly hoping to stifle AI and regulate it. And Governor Newsom did actually veto this bill that would have amounted to the strictest regulations on AI in the country. So it was even too much for Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Well, and so what was he trying to do there?
Sure. So the law, it's really looking forward to, again, like what is a really advanced artificial intelligence system that humanity could lose control of and, either result in catastrophic harms. Either they're thinking like AI could be used to build like some sort of a bioweapon or, commit cyber attacks that would harm society. And so the way to restrict that is to put these technical limitations on exactly how powerful an AI could be. And also all these different regulations rolling up to the California government that would dictate who can essentially create an AI model, how can it properly be used. And while the intent is noble, I agree, I don't want AI systems to cause a cyber attack either. But typically government isn't the one best equipped to do those decisions. It's our private sector leaders who are developing those AI systems that have the expertise. And government needs to work hand in hand with them and not just punish them with stifling regulation.
Well, one of the things, and we talk a lot about small government and limited responsibility. Earlier, we talked about school choice and taking some of the power from the federal government and giving it back to the states. But a lot of times when we see these new things and these new technologies, what we also see is there's usually already some sort of existing law, consumer protections, or even criminal laws that address the concerns they say they need to pass laws to fix. That seems to be the case with AI.
You're absolutely right, April. And actually, Alabama did it right. Alabama passed 3 new laws this year. Essentially, we're updating existing laws, especially as it pertains to deepfake images. That's something that regular Americans are especially worried about. Can an AI be used to either impersonate them? Or we all saw earlier this year what happened with Taylor Swift, where non-consensual intimate images of Taylor Swift circulated widely on social media. But it's not just Taylor Swift. It's many average, everyday Americans, including even school children who, they are the victims of this crime. And the good news is that a lot of that, either fraud or, child exploitation, like you mentioned, April, it's already illegal. There's already a framework to address that. And what Alabama did is update their existing laws to clarify that even if someone uses AI to exploit children or distribute non-consensual images online, then that still is illegal and they can be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law.
And that's punishing the people doing it, not the people who are out there trying to develop the technology, which, again, the evolution of technology is how you and I are able to talk today, right? Like the ability of us to talk over our computers in different states. We need we need companies to invest in the services and technologies that allow us to go about our everyday life right now.
Absolutely. And it's something to remember. Artificial intelligence, like everything else in the world, it is a tool, and it's ultimately whoever uses a tool responsibly, there can be immense benefits as far as it's transforming education, how you and I work. We're able to communicate right now using advanced technology, but of course it can be used by bad actors to commit harms, and that's where we should focus on, is holding the criminals accountable, allowing recourse through the legal system to collect civil damages where appropriate. And that's been the proven mechanism. And even government agencies in the Biden administration, like the Federal Trade Commission, they're already cracking down on some of these maybe kind of fraudulent uses of AI. So and the FCC, if you might remember earlier this year, there was this robocall of President Biden. They were able to address that using the existing law from the 1990s. So we don't need a massive new artificial intelligence law.
Yeah, we've got laws on the books, and we just need to make sure that they're keeping up with what people are doing. And that's true of just about every law, honestly. Let's talk a little bit more about just technology as in the field right now, dealing with technology policy, because that is what you do for ALEC. Talk to us about some of the other issues that are bubbling on the surface here that people should be aware of.
Sure. So one really important issue right now pertains to the issue of children's safety online. So one of, kind of side tangent from this whole AI conversation is, children either through social media or smartphones or, again, these AI tools, what is a way that we can ensure children are not harmed or, falling victim again to various crimes online or so ALEC has a new approach that our state legislative members suggested earlier this year that essentially provides for students to take advantage of the benefits, but still learning responsibly about, not oversharing information online, what to look out for as far as scams, and maybe ways to mitigate some of the more, not overusing technology so much, the responsible amount of use. And if we teach them those digital skills, then they'll be able to be productive members of society. But some have advocated either restricting use of social media for minors or even banning minors from using social media or other technologies. And before any states or federal governments do that, it's important for them to consider the full picture here, because the next generation is going to be expected to use AI and other future technologies in the workplace. So we don't want to hold our American workforce back while our rivals in places like China and even the United Arab Emirates is a leader on AI. We don't want to fall behind our friends and our rivals abroad.
Yeah, it's interesting, both of those issues. So with the social media, I feel like that's one of those, I've got an 11-year-old and she's got a number of friends who are on social media, and she knows she's just not getting it. It's just a no-go in our house. I don't need the federal government to come in and tell me she can't have it. I'm not going to allow her to have it. There are healthy ways to do social media and communications. And I feel like for our family, for her, that I should be the one who decides that. I don't need nanny state coming in to do it.
That's absolutely right, April. Is that it's all at ALEC. We're all about giving parents complete choice, over how their children should be raised, and whether that's school choice or, again, in this situation, with how the parents ultimately know best what's best for their children. It shouldn't be state actors dictating how that can be used. And there's lots of existing tools, either on the Apple smartphones or other social media sites, that give parents these parental control tools to, monitor what their children are doing or restrict access or give access. So we should let parents be the parents and keep government out of it.
While we were talking, I kid you not, this is not a bit I am doing. While we are talking, my daughter requested an AI Facetune app, and I went, doink, nope, not getting that. And it was, I was like, nice try, but I would have to give her permission. All right. So before we end this segment, tell our listeners where they can find you, find more information about what you're doing over at ALEC, and get information about ALEC in general.
Sure. So ALEC is the American Legislative Exchange Council. You can visit our work on alec.org, ALEC.org. And we are an organization, I mentioned, of state legislative members from across the country committed to the ideals of free markets, limited government, and federalism. And so, again, on the technology-related issues, feel free to follow my information at alec.org at the Communications and Technology Task Force, and then lots of other great free market ideas.
All right. We appreciate you taking the time to call in today. You guys stay tuned. We got half an hour left of April Marie filling in for Jeff Kapoor. Back in just a minute.